Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to TLR number 35. We're almost 40 years old. We're almost at peak level. Peak level.
Oh, is that the peak now? 40? I like that.
Yeah, we're moving on up. We're moving on up. Episode 35. TLR, the Ludicrous Report. As always, your co-host, Joey Karni, and the amazing Issa, the Demon Diva. What's going on, Issa? First off, how's the weather in Puerto Rico? Because I know you were having some issues before.
We're still on the heat wave. I took Roman out for a walk a little bit ago and he tapped out 2 seconds in. We literally walked out the door. I went to turn the corner to go to the exit gate and he just turned around and sat there and stared at me. I was like, "You're not gonna walk, are you?" So it is as we speak right now where I'm at, it says it feels like 102 degrees. So you can blame Roman for saying, "Take me back to the AC."
See, where I am, we in the New York, New Jersey area, it's very weird because tomorrow is summer solstice, so it's like the official first day of summer, also the longest day of the year. But it has been for the time, and you know this area from being here, it's been like pretty not chilly, but like not summer weather, if that makes sense. Like
Right, I heard, because obviously, I used to live in that area. I have a lot of friends in that area. And I know you're getting like that nice 70 something, which is, it's good, but it's kind of cloudy. Like it's not sunny. I heard it's kind of gloomy. You had that weird weather with all the smoke thing when it went orange over there. Like it's been such an odd year. I found out yesterday that we were gonna get a hurricane. Somebody in the chat, I think Ricky just mentioned it. I didn't even realize we were already in hurricane season because to us, and you know this, you lived in Florida, it's late August and September, the danger zone is what I call it, right? We never see any action on the beginning of hurricane season. So I never really thought to myself, when does it actually start? And we had a little bit of a scare. We did get an update today and it seemed like it moved down enough to where it's not going to affect us. But it was just funny because we talk about climate change and all that. And I'm like, I've never been watching news for a hurricane threat in early June. Like that's just like weird to me. It's just crazy how much the weather and everything is changing.
I remember growing up in Florida, there would be hurricanes and I wouldn't even know hurricanes were happening. Like it just felt like it's a regular thing in those kind of places, those climates. So, but for Puerto Rico, I mean, when you guys typically get hurricanes, are they like destructive or are they just more like a tropical storm?
No, we had. Well, I don't know if you remember Maria back in 2017. That tore the island apart, and it took Puerto Rico years. It still hasn't fully recovered from it. And then we got Fiona last year, which Fiona didn't really hit us like Maria. Maria hit us Category 5. I touched the island where I think Fiona went a little bit above us, but the whole tail. And Fiona was last year, and that was a scary time. We didn't have water, power. It was more destructive flood wise. She brought a lot of rain. But I gotta tell you, I experienced Hurricane Hugo. This is way back in the day because I'm an old lady. That was at the level of Maria. We've had for as long as I lived a couple of really, really bad ones, but nothing. I'm not even kidding when I tell you that I have Maria PTSD. The sounds that the wind made that night. I wasn't living in Puerto Rico, Joey. I came to Puerto Rico because my dad was retiring. So we're going to celebrate his retirement. And when I flew down here, Maria was kind of far away enough that we didn't know it was going to be a threat, right? Otherwise, I would have. Actually, I don't know. I go back and forth because I'm like, I don't know if I would have canceled the trip or I'd rather be here and know that my parents were okay and kind of help provide for a little bit for them,
Yeah.
But when I left, we didn't know she was going to be a threat. So I didn't even live here. I got stuck here for 2 weeks because there was no flights coming in and out. Like, I can still hear the sounds of the wind. I never seen or experienced anything like that. It was like a whistle. I don't know how to describe it. It was a very scary sound. And I never want to hear it in my life again. Because it was like, I heard it before in other hurricanes, the wind sound, but nothing like what Maria sounded like. Like, PTSD from a hurricane is real. I'm telling you.
I remember when I was living in Florida and we had the hurricane shutters on. They were like metal hurricane shutters.
Yeah.
And they had these like ridges in them. And the sound you're describing is like that wind going in between, and like that whistling, howling sound. And I know exactly. I can hear it in my head as we're talking about it. Like it's crazy, and it's scary because you don't know what to expect. You don't know. You know what can happen, but you don't know what will happen. It's very almost like a helpless type of feeling. Like you just out of your control.
Ricky in the chat is talking about Hurricane Sandy, and I just gotta share this story real quick, just so you can understand how much of a bad luck I have. I was in New York for Hurricane Sandy, but guess what? I didn't live there. I was visiting, just like Maria. Like everybody, like my family has an inside joke where they're like, "Don't have Isa visit us on hurricane season."
Now I'm thinking when you come back here, I need like a month and a half advance notice.
I was visiting for Hurricane Sandy, New York. I moved there like a couple of months after, but I was visiting. I got stuck there because of Hurricane Sandy. I come visit Puerto Rico. Bam, Maria. I'm like, I have the worst freaking luck when it comes to when I choose to take my vacations. Sandy was scary. Especially because we all thought, oh, hurricanes don't come to New York. We're going to be okay. Yeah, no. Yeah. I was one of the people saying that. I'm like, I was living in the Midwest at the time. I remember I was flying out and my coworkers were like, oh, but the storm is coming. And I'm like, there's no hurricanes in New York. Shut up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hurricanes, we're going to be talking about a few different hurricanes today on our show. Hey. We have Hurricane Kardashian. We have Hurricane Jennifer Lopez. There's a few hurricanes swirling around the entertainment world. And I think that we need to touch on them all because there is so much drama. It seems like it's drama. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I don't know if it's just drama from the people, or is it drama from the media that make it dramatic? The media.
I think it's a combination of both. There's a couple of them that I was looking. Some of the stories that we're gonna cover today that I was looking and I saw both points.
Yeah.
Like when we get into the J-Lo, I know she got a bunch of backlash, but I also saw a little bit of the sense of humor in her posts.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's a combination of both.
That's kind of where I want to start. The one with J-Lo. So she posted a shirtless photo of her husband, Ben Affleck, on Instagram for Father's Day.
Right, and she called him of her.
A daddy. She called him daddy or whatever it was. Let me see if I can pull it up and see exactly.
Yeah, she said Happy Daddy Day or something.
Happy Daddy Day. And people are like coming at her. Why? Why is this such a thing?
So I guess people are upset because I guess they are assumed because she also said in Happy Father's Day or something like that. I gotta find the full caption of what she said. Yeah. But I think people are upset because of the whole like, oh, it's Father's Day. You didn't even put a picture of him with the kids. You didn't give a shout out to the father of your kids. You didn't do all of this. I gotta tell you something, okay? I woke up on Father's Day and I sent all of the special fathers, dads, a nice Happy Father's Day. But I'm not going to tell you that I didn't say a Happy Daddy Day with a whole different alternative meaning that morning. I did. So I saw her sense of humor behind the daddy thing. But I think because she has her own kids and because he has their kids, and I don't know that I see, and I research for this show every week, and I think I seen one time of her hanging out with Ben Affleck's kids. When you see Jennifer Garner even hanging out with J-Lo's kids, right? So I don't know if people are just starting to like keep an eye on what she's doing, like in regards to that. But I think she was just doing it to be funny. I'm pretty sure Mark Anthony got his Father's Day gift. I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck got some loving for their kids. I think she was just trying to be funny and show off that she has a hot husband. He's not my type, but she thinks he's hot. Okay,
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you okay with the criticism? I'm like, we're getting too sensitive about everything nowadays.
I really do. I think we're getting too sensitive in general, but on this particular topic, who cares what she posts? Like they would. So people care if she were to not post anything for Father's Day, and then they would care when she does post because they don't like what she posted. Like you're never gonna win with the people or the fans, whatever you want to call the people.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, mind your own business. Like, how do you know that they didn't do something together for Father's Day and she's just posting like pictures just to post for like a Father's Day post? Like when I post pictures for Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day, or someone's birthday, the typical pictures that I post are not like from that day or that moment. They're like over time my favorite photos with that person.
Right.
So it's not like she posted those of that day. She probably did something completely different for Father's Day. Maybe with Mark Anthony, maybe with Ben Affleck's kids. Like, who knows?
Then the people complain if the celebrities stop sharing their lives with us. And it's like, it's getting to the point that every post has backlash. So you can't blame them for hiring a PR team, handing their social media over, and not interacting with the fans anymore. Because it's like they run their own social media and try to be legitimate people. Then we all come at every move that they made. But then, you don't want the AI generated PR Instagram account either. But you can't blame somebody like a J-Lo after all this for saying, you know what, I'm done. Here, I had the money for a PR team to handle my social media. I don't need to be spending time doing this.
I can. This is one of those topics where I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, actually, it's almost annoying to even like read the headline, because it's like, it's just, and not to kind of tie it into wrestling or not to put anybody on the spot, but this is something that we've talked about before. In my opinion, it's lazy journalism. And we see it a lot in our industry where it's like, Vince McMahon is at Raw in Connecticut. Like, that's not a headline. It's not a headline. And I don't think this is a headline. This is not a headline. This is just something because...
Well, I mean, you do have the clickbaity titles, and we do have weeks that are slowing the news. We know that more than anybody, because there's some weeks that we have too many topics to talk about to keep it under an hour, and then we have weeks when we're both struggling to find interesting topics. And I feel like these websites, they need their clicks, they need their ad revenue, so they're gonna figure out a way to create controversy out of nothing.
I thought Jennifer Lopez is a name that people search for.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I understood the meaning behind it. I personally, I don't know how you are with your socials, but I'm very was story worthy and was post worthy. She should have saved that for the story. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like there's like, when I want to be silly or post something stupid that I want to forget about later, that goes in the story. You to be post worthy, you're gonna stay on the feed. Like that's different. So I think that if I'm in her situation, I would have said this is more of a story post. Put it on the story.
Yeah, I agree. 24 hours, it's gone. And again, people will still come for her and do whatever they do. But honestly, like you said, it's a funny post. It's like, haha, happy Father's Day. Like, whatever.
Do you think people were just like concerned that there's like, I don't know. I feel like people were talking shit about the picture that she posted on bed, because it was like definitely a thirst trap that he sent her. And I'm like, what? They're not allowed to flirt? Like, don't we all do it? Like, what is going on? Like, why do we nitpick on all these celebrities? Like, we're not all out there sending a thirst trap to someone and hoping of a fire emoji back,
You know what the right thing to do is? Like, we've seen Ben Affleck heavier than he was in that photo.
He looked good. That's what I was gonna say.
Guy's in shape. Let him live his life.
Somebody commented and said that Dunkin' Donuts coffee diet is really, and cigarettes is really working for him. And I'm like, coffee and cigarettes was the diet of all the supermodels back in the 90s. Go ahead and ask them.
Yeah. And if you look
coffee,
at
cigarettes, and unfortunately laxative, because that's literally what those supermodels back in the day did.
And if you look at all like the most recent pictures of Ben Affleck, he's either drinking coffee or he's smoking a cigarette.
Coffee and cigarette diet. He's old school, baby. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Victoria's Secret made a lot of money out of that diet.
Oh man. Yeah, what would you rate this story overall? Like what?
You know what? I don't know what kind of rating system, and we were talking about how we're gonna start structuring the show different. Yeah. But I'm gonna create our own rating system right now, and I'm gonna rate this one clickbait.
Clickbait, I love it. Clickbait.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out. Clickbait are the ones that we click. Yep. We fell for it. We're gonna talk about it because we fell for it. But was it worth the time that we spent on it? Yep. Maybe not.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Clip it. It's clickbait.
Clickbait. That's our new rating system for lame stories.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with another one. So we'll have clickbait and we'll have something else. Everybody in the chat, let us know what you would think would be a good
viral should be the good ones.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, let us know what you think we should call like the noteworthy stories opposed to
Yeah.
the clickbait stories. And maybe we'll incorporate into the show. Let us know. But
Let us know in the chat, please.
yeah, so the next topic I kind of want to touch on is, I don't know if it's morbid, but it's kind of just, I don't know, this whole Titanic stuff that's been going on. The Titanic is not at sea right now. Like everybody just took that as, but like this topic is so crazy because there are so many, and this is a topic that you and I both love to dive into. No pun intended with the water reference, but we dive into these topics because there's so many conspiracy theories regarding these or what's going on.
Yeah.
So another submarine is like missing. That was, I guess, looking to do something with the Titanic. Did you have more info on it? Do you know what's going
Yeah,
on?
I just opened up. I literally just opened up an article that came out an hour ago from People Magazine. And it's kind of like a timeline and like the everything you need to know.
Yeah.
This wasn't a bit, otherwise I would have sent you this link, but it says on June 19th, the U.S. Coast Guard of Boston announced that a submarine carrying passengers to the underwater site of the sunken Titanic ship has gone missing. The excursion was part of Ocean Gate Expedition, a company that obviously hosts the Titanic expeditions. Per their website, expedition to the Titanic began in the summer of 2023, and they had a total of 18 dives planned. I gotta scroll through this article, but now I wonder, is this their first one? Because it says it was supposed to. Don't shake your head. Imagine if that's their first one. So it looks. I'm trying to figure out how many people are actually missing, but at least we know 6. They have 6 specialists on board. It says the crew of the Polar Prince lost contact with them approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive, about 900 miles east of Cape. Okay, here we go. Who are the passengers? I don't need to know their names. Just tell me the amount. Oh, it's a cute little submarine. Can you see?
Yeah. Apparently, there's like
it looks pretty
17
high
or
end.
18, 17 or 18 bolts that keep it closed from the outside. That's just the outside.
Yeah.
Imagine you get in this thing to go down in water.
It doesn't tell me how many people are in the boat. It does say that there's 6 members alone are like from the dive team of the company that does the excursion. I remember when the movie Titanic came out, we all wanted to go on a submarine down to the Titanic. Like that was just a must do for everybody. I will tell you one thing. I assumed that those cooled off. I didn't realize they were still this popular and people were still doing it. But that has to be terrifying.
So the reason why there's all this stuff going on with the Titanic, so it's so decayed at this point where they can't pull it out. It would just fall apart into pieces, and they want to keep it at its original stature, I guess.
Right.
And the only way that they can do that is going down to see it in this case. And there's a huge theory regarding what's going on, is that the government is using it as something to store or keep something secretive. And anybody that gets, because this is not the first time that something went missing regarding the Titanic. This has happened before. Not maybe a submarine excursion, but other people who have gone to do something around the Titanic go missing. And the conspiracy theorists said basically that maybe the government is hiding something in the Titanic that they don't want people to, so they kind of,
Wait, listen to this. The private company that owns the vessel conducts the tourist trips to the Titanic for $250,000. People pay $250,000.
or whatever.
Yeah, that is insane. This is a different report that came. Apparently, everybody's really updating their stuff while we were waiting to go on air, because it's an hour ago from the New York Post. This one states that they only have 41 hours left of oxygen. So they kind of need to find them.
That's insane.
I can't believe they would think that. What would the government hide in the Titanic outside of that beautiful blue diamond necklace? That's the only reason why I would go in there, to find the heart of the ocean from Titanic, because the old lady threw it into the ocean at the end.
Yeah. Gotta find this damn necklace. I gotta find this damn necklace.
Oh my god, I'm over here in my head now singing "Oops, I Did It Again" because that's a line from it.
Oh man.
But anyway, so they have 41 hours left. Maybe a bunch of rich people, obviously, because they pay that much to go on this excursion.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound. Now I'm really like, I guess I have to research some more. I wonder if this company is brand new, or if they just do them in the summer, and maybe they did them last summer and this is just when they just started doing it. They released a press statement, but it's very vague. Ocean Gate Expeditions, they have 11,000 followers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, 5 days ago they sent out a tweet. It's been an incredible busy 2 week. Thank you all to our dive teams who joined us. Here's a look at our mission 3 and mission 4. So it wasn't the first one. And it looks like it's a group of about 40 people. So that's probably what's missing right now. But the last time they tweeted was like their third and fourth trip down to the Titanic, and then this one is the one that has gone missing. I mean, something really weird must happen. And did it sink all the way to the bottom? We don't shouldn't you be able to find it? There's only like one route that they could take. Where are they? Like the ocean is such an unknown territory. It's like terrifying.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, like the Titanic is so far down where like you can't send divers. You can't send that's why they have the submarines going down. It's so far down where it's like it's not even I don't know.
So they have to get like a submarine rescue team, right?
Yeah.
So and not everybody has a freaking submarine. Yeah. I would assume the Coast Guard has to have a bunch. Like I heard about this like yesterday. You would think they would have found them by now.
I heard about it this morning on the news when I was drinking my coffee in the morning. I saw it on the news. I was like, what? How are they? It's just, yeah.
How do a whole ass submarine, bro? Like, how does that go missing? I'm sorry, I know that's funny, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it.
But we've seen wars. Like, remember that airplane, the Malaysian Airlines airplane that just completely disappeared? We still don't know what happened to it.
Yep. It's insane to me.
It's 21-foot vessel. I mean, the more I read, the more they just say the same of everything, but they're not really telling us anything. There's basically no updates.
Mike says
you sign a massive waiver. Sorry, but he says you do sign a massive waiver that you could die in the team on the trip. Wow. So if something happens, nobody's reliable, basically.
Yeah. Mike says in the chat that it's 3 miles down.
There's no way. There is no way. You think so? How? I'm looking it up right now.
Do it.
We're gonna 13,000 feet.
He says the story is on Netflix. Now I gotta watch. You know, I always was infatuated with the Titanic. I never just took the time to look.
Oh no, he's right. It's 13,000 feet. The problem is that miles in I don't know if you guys know this, but like miles in ocean is not the same like a mile of what we assume here, right? But so the best way to describe it is 13,000 feet. So because I just opened up an article and it says that will average to 3 miles, but miles in the ocean is completely different than Earth miles. I don't know how to speak all of this ocean lingo. Okay.
Yeah. Baby Ice wrote in the chat, space, the ocean floor. Stop testing fate, people.
He's not wrong. I mean, think about it. We were just talking about how much of the ocean is still unknown and unexplored. We don't know how many kind of sea animals there are. There's a reason why that is unknown. Like, and I get it, technology. We all want to test and see what we can do, but to pay that's how you know you have too much money. You pay $250,000. I'm sorry, just rent a movie theater and have a private viewing of Titanic. It will be a lot cheaper.
You know what's crazy? Like you see people like Elon Musk doing things like this and other celebrities. I know Pete Davidson was invited to go to outer space with the Tesla stuff.
What?
You know, you look at somebody like Mr. Beast. I know we talked about him on last week's show. You don't see him doing anything like this. Why are you testing your fate? Why not do good that $250,000 ticket, you could do so much good with that, or just something for yourself. Go buy a beach house. Go buy, you know what I mean? Like,
Oof. A beach house will be a lot nicer than dying on a submarine.
yeah, like I get you're rich and you have all this confidence now. You could take on space in the ocean. Well, guess what? You can't. You
I
think you
can't
could do
wait
these things,
to
Nemo, but you can't.
I can't wait to see like what happened. Like whether they
Yeah.
I hope they find it and everything's safe, but what went wrong, and just the thought of you paying all this money and right now you gotta be in the bottom of the ocean terrified that you're gonna run out of oxygen and nobody's gonna find you. Like I couldn't picture being in that position, but I'm also never gonna put myself in that position even if I have billions of dollars. Like it's just
Yeah.
not something that Lego says that ship is cursed. But I mean, something went horribly wrong here. There has been so many excursions to the Titanic. There have been
Yep.
so many documentaries. Even the original Titanic, which was back in the 90s, the footage that you see, they really went down there. Like they do this all the time. This is probably why it's so shocking to me because I was like, oh my God, they're still doing these excursions. I thought they got cheaper at least. Apparently not.
You want to
But
see the Titanic? Watch the movie.
yeah, but like I just you can't even get out to see it. You know what I mean? So it's like you pay
Yeah.
250,000 to look through a tiny little like bubble like this and go like, oh my God, it's the Titanic. Okay, I'll just Google some images.
And how many people are on that submarine? Like you're waiting to see out this little window. Like,
It's like a meet and greet at a WWE
yeah.
event.
Kind of to backtrack a little bit, I saw a comment before I forgot to mention, but when we were talking about how you mentioned the rating system, clickbait.
Yeah.
Lego put in here, and Lego put a comment saying that we should use the term acknowledged for the ones that we like.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. Of course, I like
acknowledged.
that.
So
It
a
looks
Roman Reigns reference here.
it looks gross. The Titanic. I wouldn't pay 250,000 to go look at this.
Everybody in the chat and who's watching right now, let us know in the chat what you would do instead with the $250,000, or maybe you would go in a submarine and potentially, in most cases, very likely, get lost looking for the Titanic.
What would you do? No, what would you do,
with
Joey?
Oh, what I do?
Yeah.
I'm all about the long term booking.
Right.
Roman Reigns, the bloodline style. I like the long term booking. I'm looking for assets. I'm looking for passive income. So I don't want to work. Plain and simple. I don't want to work the rest of my life. I would love to use that to invest in real estate or something that could bring me passive income. I know to get all like googly eyed here with that, but you buy a beach house, go enjoy life, go do something, a lake house. I love being on the water, so anything with water, I would maybe go buy a beautiful home in Puerto Rico, live next to you.
Yes, they're cheaper here. I would definitely open. I always wanted to open like a sports bar, but in Puerto Rico, by the beach. Serve finger food, like just little things to pick on. Serve alcohol, but have all the screens and show all the sports. Because I hate when you go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings and this, and they call themselves sports bar, but now they don't show wrestling or they don't show this. So if it's on pay per view, they don't show it. No, you're gonna have your baseball, your basketball. You're gonna have your boring golf. We're gonna have wrestling, UFC, like a real sports bar by the beach, pool tables. Oh my God, it would be so much fun.
Let me ask you, if you kind of going off topic here with that, instead of doing, what would you do with the $250,000? What's the first thing you would buy for yourself? For yourself, not
Probably
like
some shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a shoe girl. I'd be buying designer shoes even when I don't have the money. Imagine if I had it.
You know what I always wanted?
What?
I always wanted a wrestling ring.
No! But you can build it, Joey. You know that, right?
I know, but
Yeah, but he's trying to flex. He's gonna call WWE like Logan Paul did in Puerto Rico and be like, "Bring me a ring to my backyard."
Yeah. Yeah,
I can't believe they had the. By the way, I can't believe they freaking flew down a freaking WWE ring to Logan Paul in Puerto Rico. That's gangster.
this guy, I don't know what his hold on the company, but I mean, it's 30 million followers or whatever, but this guy gets whatever he wants.
30 million. He's gotta have more than that. I mean, remember, across all platforms, he's
Yeah,
gotta be at like fucking 75 million or more.
yeah, I don't know.
I I don't know. I'm hoping that that's. I know we're off topic, but I'm hoping that WWE, that's how they heal him up, by
Yeah,
making him, oh, we like him because he's famous and he has influence and will do whatever he wants, because that's how he came off last night when they just
yeah,
allowed him in the Money in the Bank ladder match without qualifying.
yeah. All
Anyways,
this
that's a
qualifying.
topic for a different stream. But man, I love that Money in the Bank segment last night from Raw.
Yeah,
Shout out to them. That was fun. But yeah, the Titanic submarine. I mean, I have a feeling that we will get some updates here within the next 24 hours, especially given the fact that New York Post just posted an hour ago. They have 40 hours of oxygen left. So I would assume all hands on deck, to get this, to get this submarine found.
yeah,
What if it's a hoax? Imagine if they're just hiding the
yeah,
submarine on purpose. Remember Balloon Boy?
yeah. I remember Balloon Boy.
When they mobilized everything, they stopped flights and everything, and the boy was not in the balloon.
I'm seeing some comments in the chat. Kind of to go back,
Mhm.
we were talking about what we do with the $250,000 instead of going down to the Titanic. Mike put donate to nonprofit organizations. Let's see what else.
That's nice.
Lego Brick Collector, buy front row tickets to WrestleMania.
Let's go.
Yeah, Baby Ice, I would buy the Batmobile.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Ricky says I'll go out to space and see Mars. Get it?
I don't know about that, Mickey. I don't know about that, Ricky.
Yeah. And then Mike says donate to the Special Olympics and pay my bills off. I love that one too.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of different things people would do. And that's what's I don't know. I love hearing all the different opinions. That to me is cool.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, we'll stay tuned to this submarine. I have a feeling that we'll be getting some updates soon. I hope they're okay. I hope
Yeah.
they find them okay. I hope they're okay, and I hope that we get an explanation, because I hate when stories like this go viral
Yeah.
and then we never hear what happened. Why did they go missing? Like, I hope we hear, hey, they found them and this is what went wrong with the submarine. And yeah, we can always just hope for the best, but it's just crazy that this is still like these excursions are still this popular.
Yeah. And to kind of go on to the next topic here, this one I think is going to be a little fun to talk about because we're talking about Katy Perry. We're talking about Snoop Dogg. I don't know if you saw this, but Katy Perry and Snoop Dogg for their song California Girls, which, by the way, celebrated its 13th anniversary.
God, we're all so old.
I saw that and I wanted to fall on the floor and cry.
Yeah, we're
But,
all so old. We're all old.
California Girls goes diamond, which is incredible. Let's see here. Yeah, fresh off the 13th anniversary. Now, this is Snoop Dogg's first diamond record, if you can believe that.
What? That's
First diamond,
disappointing.
and this gives Katy Perry her fourth diamond record. Now, her other ones are for Firework, Roar, and Dark Horse. And now,
What? Those are not even her good ones.
yeah, and now this one. And she just passed Lady Gaga for the most diamond hits among women artists ever.
Don't you think Lady Gaga's better than Katy Perry?
100%.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I
1,000%.
was about
Why
to have a
does-
fit.
I saw this and I was like, who lied to
First
you?
of all, you telling me that Snoop Dogg didn't have any diamond records before this, that would not be accepted in my household. But how does she pass this? You know what? I'm not gonna question it.
Listen, I give credit to Katy Perry because she has this innate ability to just have these hits. And they're not just hits, they're like generational hits. Like Firework, California Girls, we still listen to those things. They're still you're gonna tell me you're not gonna
I
dance
do
to those
like
songs?
California Girls. I do think if I'm gonna give you my top picks for Katy Perry, I will put California Girls up there, but not
That's my
Roar or
top.
Fireworks. Like, do you ever feel like a plastic bag? I don't. I don't, Katy Perry. Never in my life.
The way you just said that, so like casual. Like, you ever feel like a plastic bag? Like this is
No, who does that?
I never liked Roar. I never liked Roar. I never liked the beat of it. It's like dun, 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 dun. Like shut up. Stop it.
I kissed
Turn it
a
off.
girl and I liked it. Waking
That's
up in Vegas. That's what I'm talking about. You know, those
yes,
I can relate to. I
yes.
mean,
What's the other one? I don't know the name of it. She's got so many hits, but she's definitely not as good as Lady Gaga. So that needs to like be changed quick. So Lady Gaga, if you're listening, if you're watching, get on it.
yeah.
Drop another album. Do it.
Teenage Dream can be disturbing, Jared Ford in the chat. That's a disturbing song if you really pay attention to it.
Yeah. I think my favorite I don't listen to Katy Perry, but like it's kind of hard not to when she's got diamond hits everywhere.
Apparently.
Yeah. California Girls is my favorite.
Yeah. I love I Kissed a Girl and I liked it. She just felt so different when she first came out with that song. It was kind of controversial back then. Things were not as normal as they are now. So nobody was expecting that song to hit number one.
Yep.
I always thought she was, and then she just became another pop girl.
Yep. Now she's a mean judge on American Idol.
Oh my God, have you seen all the TikTok and compilations? Like she's like bad.
Yeah. And Baby Ice says in the chat, Edge of Glory trumps all. See, and that's it right there. Edge of Glory is, I would pick that over any Katy Perry song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we see my favorite is Dark Horse and I Kissed a Girl. Rain on Me was really good when it had Gaga and Ariana.
By the way, I'm sorry to like go back for a second, but like the Titanic is like number one trend right now, right? I just opened Twitter, and the top tweet that pops up is not even related to. Well, it is. It's by a random person, and it says, and I quote: "If you get killed because you sign a document that mentions death 3 times, and you go on a submarine, and you get on a submarine that is controlled by a video game controller." And the submarine is going to the Titanic thousands of feet underwater, I think God's will have been done.
It's kind of hard not to agree. Like they're basically telling you you are most likely going to die. And you're like, yep, sign me up. I love it.
But I do that all the time because I like to go. I've been skydiving a bunch of times. I've done a lot of crazy, stupid bungee jumps. And you do have to sign your life away. And that's what I always tell people when people are like, are you crazy? And I'm like, I am. Because I know what I'm signing up to. You know what I mean? So there are people that are perfectly okay with that. But it just caught my eye that instead of being a news report or something, that is the first tweet that people are liking and retweeting in regards to the topic. Anyways, back to Katy Perry. Oh, Judas is good. Judas is a banger indeed. I don't know. I'm more of a Lady Gaga girl than I am a Katy Perry. I mean,
agree.
Good for them for breaking record. I had no idea that Snoop Dogg never had a record go that big until California Girls. Like that is mind-boggling to me.
Right? Like you would think he would have many.
Which ones though, Joey? Because now that I think about it, does Snoop Dogg really have not a featured? A song of his own that comes to your head immediately, because every time I think Snoop Dogg, no, Drop It Like It's Hot. But that still has a feature. But Drop It Like It's Hot, I would assume, have made pretty good.
Drop It Like It's Hot. What's the one that Rey Mysterio came out to at WrestleMania?
Oh my God! But that's also a feature. I'm just thinking like Snoop Dogg on his own doesn't have it.
Yeah. See. Yeah, he's more memorable than Katy Perry, but Katy Perry's.
She goes for the girls, the girls at that age range, and you're never gonna run out of teenage girls, you know.
Yeah, teenage dream, you know.
I used to be a victim of that kind of music. So when I was a teenager, man, and sing Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, they had me on a chokehold. Whatever they release, I was gonna support, you know.
Yeah. Nothing but a G thing. Yep. Ain't nothing but a G thing. Yep. That's it.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yep. I remember playing Grand Theft Auto and always hearing those songs. And I'm like, I can't wait to get my license one day.
I do drive to that kind of music still to this day.
Yeah. Now I do. Now I actually drive to that.
I was actually talking about my kind of ratchet taste in music after I got home. I'm always because actually, fun fact, he's in the chat. Lego, I sent him like a Snapchat. I remember a video, and he just started laughing because on the background of my videos in the car, there's always some rap or hip hop or reggaeton, which is Puerto Rican rap, and I'm like, yeah, I'm always listening to something kind of ratchet. The day that I sent you something and you hear some Taylor Swift in the background, call help, like call for help. I'm going through it.
Well, you have a 1 in 4 chance of that happening on your playlist because you only have 4 Taylor Swift songs on your phone. So.
Right. This is true.
Yeah.
But no, I usually go to my custom made playlist, which don't have any. But if I ever do, which I did this weekend, the whole shuffle on all my songs, that's when I'm feeling really risky. She'll pop up there like once an hour or something.
Yeah. I found this really interesting. Well, yeah, interesting, I guess, headline today about Rick Ross, the boss, Rick Ross. He donated $30,000 to save a health clinic from foreclosure. And I thought that was really, really cool. It says Rick Ross brings more to his community than just car show bonanzas, and his latest act of kindness to his Georgia neighborhood is sparing a health center from imminent doom. So he donated $30,000 to get this clinic out of immediate shutdown, which I thought was really, really interesting to see.
I love that. I love that. Especially because you don't like you hear about it, right? But it's not something that he went out there and made a video and a TikTok and all of this to talk about it. Like he got out because he got out. Like personally, if I work at one of these charities and a celebrity does that, I don't care what they say. I'm gonna put it out there because people should know. Today's media, and this is not just for celebrities, all media, right? Wrestling, sports, doesn't matter. Like we focus on the negative stories so much that I'm so tired of that because I'm more of a positive person. So I love putting the spotlight on a story like this, like
That's why I picked it today.
Yeah, getting a company that needs it out of foreclosure, that is a lot smarter than going on a fucking submarine with your money. You know what I mean?
And it's a clinic.
That's exactly what I mean.
You know, it's not like he saved, you know, like a tire store or something. Like he saved a clinic in his own neighborhood. So I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I just figured that we could touch on it. There's really not much more to say other than that.
Other than you're a real one, and
exactly.
That's awesome. And I'm a firm believer in karma. So I do think that when you do good for others, it'll come back to you in one way or another.
I agree. But you know, Issa, it's time for the main event. It's time
for the main event. I sent you this as soon as I saw it.
Oy vey.
We were talking about them too. We were just talking about them.
I feel like we can't get away from them. We can't get away from them.
We can't. No, we can't.
Yes. So the main event, as Jared says in the chat, Kourtney Kardashian is pregnant with Travis Barker's baby. Yep. I would hope it's Travis Barker's baby. Because that would be a plot twist.
Yep.
Plot twist. Scott's the father.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine.
Yeah.
The pregnancy announcement was epic. I don't care how many people want to hate on it. If you are, I mean, did you not see it and think All the Small Things music video immediately? Yes. Oh my God. And a lot of people on social media, they're getting backlash like, oh, she's already showing. He knows. And I'm like, yeah, he knows. Yeah. This was their way of announcing it to the world. And it was freaking epic. Stop hating. It was epic. I don't even like them. Well, I like him. Yeah. But I thought this was epic. I sent it to you immediately and I was like, oh, holy crap, this is epic. I literally was watching. I went and watched All the Small Things video immediately. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was original. I mean, people are going crazy with their pregnancy and pregnancy announcement, gender reveals. Yep. I thought it was epic. I know they try to make it look like he didn't know. There's no hiding it. Like, sis is showing, Joey. Did you notice that?
I saw the pictures and I was like, damn, what? That's not now. That's a little old already. This baby's already
She did. She was glowing though.
Yeah.
She's happy.
I listen, I'm not a negative person. I don't wish ill upon anybody. Like, Kourtney is my least favorite Kardashian.
Same.
I have no problem saying that, but I'm happy for her because we saw. I don't know if you've kept up with the show, if you've kept up with the Kardashians, but she had a hard time really. If you look back to the beginning, like having kids with Scott Disick and it not working out and being co-parents and that being really, really hard for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally finding someone like to actually have a real marriage with and love and support each other and all the things that, we always
She's
rag
never
on her.
had that. She's never had that,
We always
and
rag on
that's
her for like
something
being
that
similar
you,
to the PDA. And
yeah.
it's because she never really had the real version.
And you know what? And I wonder, and maybe this is from own personal, like, traumatizing experience, but a lot of times when you never had that, you also reject it. So I'm wondering, how long did it take for Travis to really break through to say, no, trust me, I'm going to be the man that you need. Let me in. Because I'm the kind of person that I'm like, you affection, stay away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I shut it down. So I wonder if she shut it down for so long that now she's just like, I don't care. This man really loves me.
Yeah.
Not for who I am. Like, not, I don't mean not for who I am, as in because I'm a Kardashian and I'm gonna get him famous. Travis Barker has his own, and it doesn't matter. So I also don't think they have to be dating. That's all they date, but I don't think they have to date a rich person for them to find legit love. But it's gotta be hard being then. So I'm just like, there is a part of me that does feel like he's bringing out a side of her that we never saw before.
Yeah.
And when you put it that way, maybe that's why we're seeing her be so playful, so all over the place, because a lot of people do criticize her because she is the older Kardashian.
Yeah.
But it's like, she's in love, she's having fun. And now, also an example to some people, like, she's 43, I think, and now she's going to have a baby. So some people can, like, slow down with the whole, like, I need to get pregnant at this age because the biological clock. That's not how it works, But I'm happy for her. She's not top 3 in my favorite Kardashians, but I'm very happy for her. Like, I saw the announcement, I thought it was epic, but when the camera pans to her, she's holding the sign. This woman is glowing and smiling, and I'm like, she's living her best life. And the best part is that she finally doesn't care what anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And when you're that famous, you live by caring what everybody else thinks about you. And she's hit that point in her life where she just doesn't care. And I gotta tell you, that's a beautiful part where you just live for you, do you, and screw everybody else. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting to. Like, we've seen this transition where she was very like closed off and quiet and to herself and like different from the other Kardashian members. And now she's just like, that's what I like about myself because I'm so different from them. Like, now she's acknowledging that she's her own individual person outside of the the Kardashian realm, which is really cool to see. And I think it's inspiring for other people, not just women, but guys too. Like, to see that like you can have a bunch of siblings and you're not labeled as like the older one or the one that has the most problems or the one with the daddy issues, all that stuff that people, there's always the one who has this, the one who has that. Like,
well, the one with the daddy issues is Chloe, because remember we all thought that Robert Kardashian wasn't her dad. That was the longest, like, the conspiracy for the longest time.
Yep. she's owning her shit. That's And for the longest time she wanted to have another baby. And the first thing I won't lie, the first thing that I thought of when they announced that and I saw it the night before, the morning. Whenever you sent it to me, I had seen it just before on Instagram. And the first thought I had was like, oh crap, like how old is she? Like, is that safe? Because I didn't know. I in my head she was like 46. I don't know why I was thinking like older like that. Like 46, not older than what she is.
The one thing is, like, I mean, I see what you're saying, but with the money that the Kardashians have, it's safe. She will be okay. They can afford that kind of health care. They can afford for her to have a doctor 24/7 by her if she needs it. You know what I mean? But she doesn't. She's still at a good age. It's just that women are so judged by. Yeah, and I get it. There are biological things that happen, but guess what? If you're still producing eggs, we just read, is it Al Pacino? He just got some girl pregnant allegedly at like almost 80. Nobody's criticizing
like
him.
84.
Yeah, nobody's criticizing him. You know what I mean? So it's just like, the way that I see it is like, if you're producing eggs, sorry for the biologic talk right now, but then it's safe. You know what I mean? It's safe. And they do have the money to make sure that this pregnancy goes smooth. I will say we reported, I think it was last week or the week before, because I was like, call her a crybaby for saying she hasn't seen her kids in 10 days. And I was like, you can travel. Now I wonder, has she been sick? Is she able? Because
Yeah.
it's very difficult to travel. Like, if you're like having a rough pregnancy, especially the
Yeah.
beginning. I think she's done with that first trimester, though. That bump is bumping.
She's bumping.
Yeah.
That and when I talk about like, oh, how old is she? Is that safe? Like, it's coming from more of like a like a like I don't know what, like, concerning thing. It's not about her age or anything like that. It's more like, what's you probably know better than me. What's like the average age that you can have kids where it's safe, like for the mother and the child?
I don't know. I know that. Didn't
I know
Halle
it's
Berry
changed.
have her babies like pretty late? I seen a
Yeah.
few actresses have their babies pretty late, but I'm gonna Google it.
My grandmother had my mom when she was in her 40s, and this was in
Yeah,
the
I know a lot of women
80s.
that have babies in their 40s.
Yeah.
It's like really funny because I was at the lash salon one day we were talking, and I remember like sitting there, and I was like, oh, I don't want kids, and everybody was like, why? And I said, oh, I'm too old for it, and everybody in that lash bar was like, no, you're not. Like, it's like I offended them, but it's like that's always my go-to, so people just don't ask any more questions,
Yeah.
and everybody, and then this woman was like, I just had mine at 42, and like they all started like jumping on me, and I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to change my go-to because I'm too old. It's not working still.
Yeah. We were having this conversation with my parents in our household, and they were like, when is everybody having grandkids? And my sister was kind of like I don't have to rush it. And even I said the same thing. We don't have to rush it because, my parents grew up in the 80s where in your early 20s you were getting married and having kids.
I'm literally just like finding this out, but it says risks do not increase until the age of 40 or later. So
That I
technically
always knew it was
speaking, you
40.
can have 40, and then there's a couple of like preeclampsia. There's a couple of things that do go up as she gets older than 40. So
Yeah.
it makes me wonder why I hear this 29-year-old girl saying, "Oh, my biological clock." It's like, no, you're still
Yeah.
good.
Well, I
But
think
yeah,
it's
so
more of people wanting to be like a young parent or like,
oh, I wanted that. I remember
yeah,
thinking if I don't have a baby by the time I'm 30, I don't want one because I wanted to be
yeah.
more of a younger parent.
And even to get
Because it
deeper
takes
with that,
energy to raise these kids, man.
yeah.
I don't have
I
that kind of
saw
energy today. I can barely walk my dog.
I saw my aunt have two little kids in her late 30s, go like in her 40s, and the patience level wears off as you get older, and that's just a natural thing that happens. Like you deal with this freaking life, and you you lose your
You know
patience.
what's funny? Because my best friend have told me that for her it's the opposite. Her patient is a lot better. She has a 5-year-old, but she is what I just told you. It's the energy to keep up with them, to
That's
play
a
with
big
them, and
part.
do all this. That she's like, I don't have that kind of. She's a single mom, so it's just
Yeah,
her and her daughter. But she tells me she's like, I'm very patient, which I probably wasn't when I was in my 20s had I been a young mom. But
yeah,
she tells me in my 20s I would have chased her around, gone to the park and ran with her instead of sitting down on a bench and be like, okay, do your thing, and that's what she tells me. She's different. She's like, I have more patience and I have the maturity level to raise her better than I would have 10 years ago, but I don't have the energy to keep up with her. And she, my best friend is in her 30s, 35, 36. So it's
yeah.
just funny to hear that because I feel that way. The way that I see, and a lot of like, a lot of my issues also with my stomach condition, but I don't have a lot of energy. Like my energy is
Yeah.
like counted, so I'm like, there's no way I could keep up with a child right now.
And to go a little deeper with that too, and we'll move on, from talking about that, but uh in a deeper sense, like I know for me too, like I think like yeah, I have all this time to have kids, but I also don't want to get to an age where my parents are going to be way too old
Hmm.
to be fun grandparents.
Right.
So you have to somehow, and these are things that maybe you don't think about because you're thinking about yourself. But when you start thinking, really having that conversation about children, having children, you're like, well, I want to be older because I want to live my life, but I also want to have my parents around to be a part of my kid's life or, be
Yeah.
young enough to still play with them and do things. So it's like, you're like, oh, like where you're like playing ping pong with the kids
Right.
idea. And you're like, Where the hell do I stand?
It's really funny because I have to give a shout out to my parents because for the longest time they were keeping that hope alive, even though I always been very clear where I stand.
Yeah.
And now especially after I moved here, I just like they call Roman their grandkid, and I'm like, they finally accepted it. They treat Roman like a baby, and I'm like,
I
they
love it.
finally accepted that this is all they're gonna get for me. So love
Yeah.
this dog as if it was your grandkid, because this is all I'm gonna bring you.
Yeah.
And obviously, I take Roman everywhere, but
Yeah.
my parents are starting to see that that's the choice that I made. But my mom, for the longest time, Joey, she used to like give me this guilt trip because I talk very highly about how much I love being an aunt. I love my nephews. It's like my favorite thing in the world is being an aunt. And my mom, she'll be so petty, Joey. She'll be like, "Oh, too bad your sister will never get that." And I'm like, "Fuck off, bro." She would tell me that. She'll be like, "You're never gonna give your sister the opportunity to experience that." And I'm like, she has her own.
Yeah.
But like now I see my mom and my dad finally kind of like coming to that agreement, and I get it.
Acknowledge Roman, their tribal chief.
They know that Roman is like, that's it, that's their grandbaby, and that's how they treat him now. But it's really funny how parents hope for that, and it takes a while to get them to understand your point of view, especially because my parents are a little bit older, so they're very old school. You grow up, you get married, you have kids, and I did everything so opposite from everybody in my family. Like sorry, but this is actually you and I talked about it. I went to college. I graduated. Not a lot of people in my family got to do that. I left Puerto Rico. I wanted to know what the bigger life was like, and I was like, I don't want to say the black sheep, but the one that did everything different while all my cousins, my friends here in Puerto Rico, everybody was getting married, having kids. I'm out here. I'm going to move to New York next, and they finally learned to accept it. I just like to live a very almost too much of a freestyle lifestyle. And I tell people all the time, like, I'm too selfish to have a kid. And I think if I had a kid, it would probably be the worst decision. I like the lifestyle that I live, and I'm not ready to give it up. And I think me knowing that and admitting it is
you're
also
aware.
just as big of a deal as because why would I go and have a kid and then we'll both be miserable? Because I'm the kind of person that if you call me right now and be like, Isa, come to New York, and if I have the funds and the time, all right, I'll be there. I'll Uber from the airport. Where are we eating? And I love that kind of lifestyle. And it took them a very long time to understand it. So I'm very proud. Shout out to my parents for finally getting the message.
They acknowledge Roman. I see Lego here in the chat. I'm happy with my dog.
Yeah, same.
Yep,
same.
I love it. But so this topic with Kourtney Kardashian, like, good for them. Like, this is a thing that's been a long time coming. They've been trying to have for a kid for a while. I don't know if you know or people watching right now know, but she was doing IVF on the show trying to get pregnant, and they were just having trouble because I don't know if it was trouble with their her eggs or his sperm, or the idea of her being in her 40s already was making it harder for them to have kids, but they were having some trouble for a little while.
I'm just very shocked that they did it that way and didn't go with a surrogate mother, because that's what Kim did. Like, it was a fact that Kim got very sick during her pregnancy. She did carry the first two, but Kim, like, for a lot to it. Yeah, and Chloe did the surrogate. So I'm excited that she's as healthy as it gets. To that one thing you can tell about her, she eats clean, she's healthy, so she's gonna be okay. But yeah, IVF is expensive, and it doesn't always work out on the first or second try. Sometimes you really have to put a lot of money and effort into it. So I'm glad it worked out for them, and I'm glad. Based on the bump, I'm assuming we're in the safe zone where we can talk about it and announce it. Exactly. And I'm very, very, very excited for them. I see, by the way, Jared Ford in the chat asking, I did see the Andrew Tate news, but I didn't want to bring it up because he's such a tool. But he did get arrested. My favorite thing is, like, they're arresting this guy over something that he's openly admitted to for years. Andrew Tate has never been shy about how he made his empire of money. Is with this webcam. He brings these girls in, and I'm glad that some of these girls are finally speaking up, and we're prosecuting. But to me, it's just so messed up that it took this long, because he's never been quiet about how he's made this money.
Yeah, it's crazy that it took him to go viral to be like. That's the problem with our society, though. You can get away with so many things as long as you're not making noise. Isn't that
If
crazy?
you really want to have fun with Andrew Tate, I highly suggest you get lost in a YouTube rabbit hole of Andrew Tate
Yeah.
music videos because he did have a music career and it is the worst attempt at rap you will ever see and you will laugh for a very, very long time. 10
Well,
out of 10 suggest.
yeah. Well, I want to acknowledge. You guys know, Issa. You know, everybody watching knows. We both are coffee holics. Like I love
Yeah,
coffee. So I want to just show everybody my mug today because I know
this
Lego
is the best.
with the dog, and I want to just show everybody my mug for today.
Do you have a Yorkie in there? Where's the Yorkie? I don't see a Yorkie.
I don't know. I don't really
I
see
don't.
it.
Wait, there's one like over there on the end. Turn it around. Go. Oh no, that's not a Yorkie. That looks more like a Frenchie.
Yeah, it kind of it acknowledges a bunch of different dogs.
Yeah, that's adorable.
But I saw the doodles and the goldens, and I was like, that's it for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, have to maybe every show I'll start showing all the mugs. I usually drink coffee during the show,
I
so
have one in the background. Fun fact that says Dog Mom with a little paw print. It was a gift from Lego. He came
I
and
love it.
saw me at one of my shows and he acknowledged the
That is
Dog Mom
awesome.
side of me.
That's awesome. I love that.
All right. Before we wrap it up, have you watched anything this week?
I don't think so.
Okay, hear me out because I got lucky by default, right? I was
Yeah,
talking on my stream the other day about what streaming services I have.
yeah,
And then I remembered that I have Shutter, the horror movie one.
yeah.
I would, because you know how much I love my
Of
horror
course.
movies. So I was like, let me see if it's worth canceling or keeping. So I opened it just to see what I would run into, right? There was a movie called Influencer. And I have been a sucker lately for modern day horror that involves like Zoom calls and
Yeah,
social media because I love that people are starting to use it.
yeah.
It was a ride. Is it a perfect movie? No. But if anybody wants to, Joey, I'm gonna give you my login so you can watch. It's a good movie about the lonely life that influencers live.
Yeah.
How much people care or not care about you
Mhm.
as an influencer, and how easy it is for people to just take advantage of you. Great movie, great movie. I mean, it does have the horror movie cliche. It's a Shutter exclusive, and they just
Yeah.
so I would assume the budget wasn't all that. But one of the main actresses has like this birthmark across her face. She's gorgeous, but she has this big birthmark. And I'm like, is this like a special effect makeup? No, she actually has it. I'm obsessed with
Wow.
her. Her performance was so good and she's so unique looking
Yeah.
that I'm like, I need her casted in a lot more. Like it was more like a psychological horror,
Yeah.
but I actually I can't believe I'm suggesting a shorter movie, but it was a great watch, an hour and a half, just hit the spot,
Wow.
not too long, not too short, and it's very modern day. It's very modern day. Like the tagline is "Be careful who you follow," and I'm like, ooh,
I love that actually. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah,
I would love to see. I feel like that's the big. I think we talked about this before. The big issue with horror films today is that you don't really see stories that are,
relatable to today.
yeah, like they're realistic for today. Like the new Scream movie, like that
I
to me
love
was,
that.
it was like so like, oh, like seeing it on a subway in New York City, like that to me was like, oh man,
Yeah,
this I could see this actually happening.
I've always said that the reason why Ghostface is up here for me as far as my
Yep.
horror movie slashers is because the creators of Scream managed to fix the issue with slashers, which is Ghostface could be anyone. You can keep this
Exactly.
franchise alive. You can't do that with Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason. You can't do that with them. But
Yep.
Ghostface, as long as you're telling a good story, it
Yep.
keeps evolving. You can keep Scream alive for as long as you keep it good, right? Where I remember thinking that the first time I was like, holy shit, this movie could live on because like you love your Halloween movies, but guess what? Look at what they're doing. They're ruining them at this point because they should have, and I will keep saying it. Halloween ends. They should have made that kid the new Michael Myers in order to
Yes.
continue it, but they didn't go in that direction. And that's the thing. You have to make more movies that relate. These old school movies are great, but they don't relate to the kind of society we live at anymore. Did you
Yeah.
watch? There was one in. It's a little bit. It's a little bit lame, but it's on Peacock and it's called They Them. It's with Kevin Bacon.
I know the name, but I haven't watched it. I know I know the
So
name. I haven't watched it.
it's kind of a little bit of a controversial movie, but it's a movie
Yeah.
where they send kids that are like struggling with LGBT, like
Yeah.
teenagers still. So the parents send them to this correction camp
Yeah.
to turn them back to normal because they
Yeah.
think it's an illness, and it ends up being a horror movie. But it's really good because it's woke, it's about modern day, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, we need more of this in our TVs. We need more movies that will relate to the kind of society and the kind of things that people could use against us today.
Yeah.
There was one that they made, I think it was like Zoom, I can't remember. There was one they made during the pandemic that was on, the whole thing was filmed on a Zoom call, but it was really good because
Yeah.
that's what we were all experiencing. Some of them are really bad, like those unfriended one, those are trash, but
Yeah.
they are modern day horror, and we need
Yeah.
more of that. So that's why I really enjoyed it. Anybody that has Shutter, is called Influencer. It will pop up right there. It's like the first thing on their recommended, feed. I
Yeah.
thought it was great.
No, I might have to watch that because I need. It's been this whole weekend. I've been all over the place. So I haven't really been able to sit and watch
You need a
TV.
distraction.
I need a exactly. So
Yeah,
I
I,
think
I get that.
that'd be a good one. But anything else? Anything else you want to add for today?
No, I spent an hour right before we went to this podcast watching a video about somebody that went on the Twilight filming locations, and I want to go. My nephew moved to Seattle, so he's
Yeah.
in the army. They just moved into Seattle and stationed him there for the next 2 years, and I was like, I'm coming. We're renting a car and we're going everywhere where Twilight was filmed.
I
And he's
love
like,
that.
okay. And I actually always wanted to do that, but I'm like, I can't find anybody that will do it with me.
Yeah. No.
So I'm like, he's not into Twilight, so he'll do a great job at hosting the camera so that I can get all the content.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Issa, today's show was fun. I love
Always
talking.
fun.
Always fun. Yeah, you have no idea how much I appreciate you and your friendship, and you're one in a million. Just know that.
You're one in a million, Joey, and I appreciate you tons. I love talking to you. I love sending you Instagram posts in the middle of the night when I see them.
I wake up either if I'm up, I see them. If the next morning I see them, I'm like, oh, damn, I wish I was up before so I could talk to her. Yeah, but no, it's definitely important, I think, to show appreciation for people and tell the people that you love them. I urge everybody in the chat now, like, if you have the opportunity now as we're talking, but as we finish the show, call somebody or text somebody that you love, call your people, let them know you love them, because it's life is very precious.
I don't have a lot of people that I like feel that way. I do it with you every time we're gonna get off this. I'm like, love you, Joey, bye. But like, to me, it starts coming naturally. But I am a love you, bye kind of person. Like, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you never know what people are going through. I know The Rock just posted that big like video about how he argued with his dad right before he passed, and he never got the chance to reconcile with him.
Yep.
You love people, just let them know. Like I have a family group chat where every once in a while we make fun of each other, but I'll be like, hey, I love you all, and they call me soft and the P word and all that. But that's how we are in my family. But it's just a reminder, because sometimes you never know, and hug your pets extra close, because sometimes you never know.
And it's like the easiest thing to do. Like, if you're not a mushy person and you can't say it, send a text. Just let the people that you care, you love them, because it could be, not to be morbid, but it could be gone in minutes and seconds.
It really could.
So,
life is short. They could freaking go on a submarine and you'll never see them again.
I was building it up.
I'm sorry. I should. We're having a nice moment. I had to ruin it with my dark humor.
No, because I was trying to get there. But I was hiking uphill in the snow. Trying to get there. But yes.
He's like, at some point she'll say some dark shit, and that's it.
I set you up. Is what I did. No.
Yeah.
No, but it is important to acknowledge. You don't have to blow someone's phone up every day. I love you. I miss you. I love. But
yeah, that's a stage 5 clinger.
If Roman Reigns has taught us anything,
is that don't trust your family.
It's to don't trust those horrible people. It's to acknowledge the people you love and appreciate. So
except for the Usos.
Yeah, except for your cousins that are out.
Did you block the Usos, Joey?
I'm scared because you might block me if I say no.
I blocked them.
I saw you block them, and
I'm hurting, Joey. I'm hurting.
yeah. What's gonna happen when the other ones turn?
That's okay. The Roman Empire is built on Roman reigns. That's all we need. As long as we have Roman reigns, the Roman Empire will still be strong.
You know what I think everybody is not really acknowledging is that Roman has plenty other cousins and family members that he could easily say, you want to be in the main event of WrestleMania and be in
he gave that to the Usos, and the Usos were like, there's too much pressure. We're mid-carders. We need to go back. That's okay.
I love it. Issa, like I said, today was fun.
Always a blast.
Always fun. I love everybody in the chat. Thanks for talking and engaging and letting us know your thoughts. And that's gonna be a wrap for episode 35?
Yeah, something like that. 35. It is 35.
35. Issa, again, thank you. I love you. And we'll see everybody next week. Oh, we don't know. We haven't really planned out exactly what day, but the retro show is coming for those that we've been talking about it for weeks now.
Yeah.
It's coming. We'll keep you updated. The Know Your News, stay up to date with the Know Your News channel. You can either subscribe. Oh, actually, do subscribe here, like the video, and you can comment something that you maybe want to see in the next show or what we can incorporate. And
if you guys find any pop culture related news, tweet them to us on Tuesdays, and we might bring them up to the table. You never know. Not on Tuesdays, when you see them. I send Joey the things I want to talk about as soon as I see them. So just tweet them to us. Follow us on our Twitter. So right here. Yep. And if you see a story that you find interesting and you would like us to cover, just tweet it to us.
Absolutely. And we'll keep you up to date with everything we have planned. And thank you guys again. We love you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.